All right, so I'm gonna bring you guys along for a journey right here in my backyard. You guys may have noticed this pond on TikTok if you guys follow me over there. You may remember the famous Devon skit where Dad was telling him to get out the weed eater and he wanted him to clear off all the brush that's growed up around the pond levee. And so I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a product review this morning, show you guys what I'm using to do this. It's winter time, it's real cold this morning, all this stuff's pretty much dead. It's gonna be real easy to chop up, and I've got a little saw blade attachment that I put on my stihl weed eater. And of course, safety first. Y'all gonna see me with this thing on. Honestly, this is a little overkill. You know, we're not really underneath nothing out here, so there's really no need for a hard hat but the mesh guard on front. I'm just one of those type of people that if something stupid or crazy is gonna happen, it would happen to me. And we're just being extra cautious and prepared. I don't feel like going to the emergency room today. So, yeah, just stick around and let's see how much of this pond levee we can get cleared. I actually got started on this a while back, and you can see that I kind of got over here. And while the saw blade works well, and while I've got a good little system that works, it does take quite a while. So while this may not look like much on screen, trust me, it is. This pond's a pretty good, decent size. So we're going to get done what we can. If I could do anything, I wish I had one of those machines that I could just run through there and chop this all up real quick, but I don't feel like spending the money on that when I've already got the money tied in with this thing. And yeah, it just works. This is all rooted. It hasn't been fixed yet. It's hard to get in there with any type of equipment anyway. So the bad thing is this is kind of the only way to really clean it right now until I get this pond fixed, which is coming, but that's much further in the future. So yeah, let's get started. All right, so what you're basically going to need if you've got a regular stihl weed eater like I've got is you're going to get on Amazon and you're going to find the saw blade conversion kit or blade conversion kit, whatever it's called. Mine wasn't that expensive. It was like $10-12 basically, so you can take off the spool with your wire on it and be able to put one of these on. This right here is just a forestry blade. It's not really the most expensive one, but it really does get the job done. It's lasted me quite a while so far. I've been able to cut a lot of stuff, and like I said, you're fixing to see me here in just a second crank it right up, and we're going to start chopping some of this stuff down. Works great on shrub like this. This thing will even cut down trees that aren't that thick, maybe like 2 inches up to 3 inches, 3.5. That's about the farthest I've cut with it, and it's chopped them down no problem. Getting limbs and stuff overhead, this thing's a beast. I'm hoping that the camera picks us up real well. You'll notice I don't just have shrub regrowing up in here. We've also got some small trees that's growing, got some young pines that are starting to grow up alongside the bank. And I'm just gonna take my time, ease on with this blade. But yeah, keep in mind this blade's already been cut and it's not brand new out the box. And I just want you guys to see what it can do to even stuff like this. And that, folks, is why face shield, even a hard hat. Like I said, if anything stupid can happen, it can happen to me. You know, looking back on the years, I'm very happy and appreciative that our family took the time to try to raise us with good morals, good values. And even though it wasn't fun as a little kid and we didn't quite understand it, I'm very appreciative now that I'm an adult and I have my own place and I have my own things to take care of, that we had people that were able to raise us with good work ethics. Like, there were times that I didn't understand why Dad had us get up early on Saturday morning when we didn't have to go to school, just to help him pick up sticks in the yard or help pressure wash the house or ride the town because he had to do some extra work and he wanted us to come along with him and spend time with him. And looking back now, those were some of my fondest memories of just spending time. And I'll never forget the feeling of, even after working all day, whether it was in the yard or it was in the fields around my grandparents' dairy farm, whether it was going to town, helping him with his job, whatever it was, at the end of the day, it was so worth it to look back and see what we accomplished. I know one thing, it was cold this morning, but I'm about ready to come out of this jacket already. So, obviously, I'm not picking up all these limbs or anything. I'm literally just cutting this stuff down to make the pond look a lot better than what it already does. This is about 3 years, a little over 3 years of brush just growing. I've always been able to keep the levee cut with a lawnmower, but when it gets to right here, it's just too steep for that thing to get down in there. So that's whenever it just becomes time for me to try to invest in something to try to clean it up a little bit. I'm not worried about leaving the stuff here. It'll rot, it'll go into the ground. And like I said, eventually I'm gonna get somebody to come in here and bulldoze this and clean it up anyway. But I just wanted to kind of show you guys just how awesome this thing is. If you've got a hard bank or something that you're kind of scared to get down in with equipment or anything, you just got to walk a little bit with it, but I mean, that doesn't really bother me. So from right there at the edge where you see the brush starting to about, we'll say right here where my finger's pointing, this is what I just did in less than 5 minutes. Now, it's not perfect. You can still see like one or two, a couple of them still standing up. I was really just trying to get down there and cut, show you guys this for the video. But I mean, just even still, this area right here that had little thick trees, everything growing up in it already. I mean, in less than 5 minutes, that's what this little bad sucker did right here. So yeah, yes, for the rest of the video, I'll give you guys a little bit of a time lapse, and I'm gonna try my best to get as much of this cut. But like I said, I'm finna come out this jacket because this thing kind of warmed up now. All right, so I'm stopping just a second to kind of show you guys what we did in less than 15 minutes. Now, I know that in the future, I've probably sped up the footage of me cutting, probably did like a little time-lapse thing, so it doesn't look that long to you guys, but it's been about 15 minutes me cutting. And just for this little blade that's on this weed eater, one person doing this, 15 minutes, I wanted to show you guys real quick what all we did. And I came over to this side, so hopefully this stuff doesn't blend in with each other. You can see it on the camera. This is where I stopped. If you guys remember, where we started this morning was all the way up there in the corner. So we have basically done more than half of this side of the pond. I've still got the other side to go over to, but I'll get to that in a minute. In less than 15 minutes, all using this blade. So like I said, I'll leave a link to the products that I got off of Amazon. Everything I got off Amazon except for the stihl weed eater, of course. I went and got that from our local dealer. But 15 minutes to clear off half a bank. Now, and I know that it could be cleaned up even better. I know that a machine could probably do a lot better a job. I just didn't want to fool with all that. And I don't mind walking. I don't mind going up and down the side of the bank. You take a little bit at a time. If I don't finish this today, it's no big deal. Next time I'm home, I'll work on it a little bit more. It's the dry season. It's dead right now. It's really the best time in the world to cut this. And if you look at the blade, I don't know how well you guys will be able to pick it up on camera, but as much as I've used this thing, there's hardly any damage to the teeth on this blade. Now, granted, keep in mind that most of what's on this bank is really just tall grass. I mean, you guys see me cut a few trees here and there, but it's not like I'm cutting anything real thick. So it's not really going to do that much damage to the blade anyway. But if you've got an old pond around your house that you're just wanting to clean up, but you're afraid to get the lawnmower close to it or anything like that, I can't recommend this enough. Even if you don't have a pond, if you just got like a steep hill or something that's hard to get down and the only way to clean it is basically to walk like I'm doing, I can't recommend this enough. Like, it is phenomenal. So the adapter kit to put the blade on, the blade itself, I think I may have spent $55, maybe $60 at the most between those two things. But considering what I'm able to get done, I'd say that's $60 well spent. The weed eater itself, I bought it when I got this property years ago. $350, maybe $400 after tax. I mean, obviously your weed eater is going to be your greatest expense. I'm a stihl guy personally. We've always had stihl in our family. That's what I use, but I mean, I think that the attachment should work on most weed eaters. It'll tell you in the description what it fits, and if you want to search your weed eater on Amazon and see what's compatible with it, then, you know, by all means do so. That's what I did. And yeah, I'm really happy with this product. I'm really happy with what it does. I think it should also go without saying that anytime you're working, especially close to a pond or any type of water source, especially when it gets into summertime, really ain't got to worry about it right now because it's real cold outside. But try to have on some snake boots or something in case something's down there and you don't see it. You're not spending a day at the hospital because you got bit by something. Just be careful, be smart. It's up to you guys what you want to use. I would at least say put on a pair of safety glasses just to make sure something doesn't get in your eye. I know a lot of us guys, sometimes we just grab stuff and run out there and roll with it. We ain't really worried about that. I'm telling you, the least little thing could happen when you're working with stuff like this, and you can put an eye out, you can cut yourself, you can get hurt. So be smart whenever using this stuff, obviously. Thought I'd kind of show you guys a little bit of progress on this pond. Now, I started actually cutting back on this pond about a couple months ago when I first got the blade, and I've just been busy with work and been gone so much from home that I just haven't had time to really continue working on it. I first started up here on the part closest to the house when I was first testing it out and seeing how everything worked. And my first weekend, I think I went from right there in the middle towards the little shed you see. And then the next time I cut from right here all the way to that corner. And like I said, you take breaks whenever doing this, you know. You don't have to get out here and push yourself and try to cut down a whole entire pond in one day. Take breaks, do whatever else you got to do. It's fun to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I love watching it go from growed up shrub like that to now I can actually see my pond levee. And what's cool about it is every morning we have deer that walk out on our backside over there where my cross is. And they usually end up walking on this pond bank. So now once I cut this down, I'll be able to watch them a little bit longer instead of them just kind of disappearing in the brush. But this is as much as we've got so far. I would say that that's maybe a little over half of the pond cut so far. So whenever I finally get finished cutting this pond, I'll be sure to do a video on it, or maybe tie it into this video, who knows, and show you guys what everything looks like whenever it's done. As far as the tall grass that's in the bottom, not really worried about that, because if we get a real good rainy season and this pond holds water for at least a few days, so it'll kill all that. It doesn't matter if it's going to be in the summertime or what time of year. Any type of grass that's down there where I know water's going to eventually be, I'm not really worried about that. I'm really just trying to clean up the levee right here. Ray, you want to be on Daddy's video? Take your time. Take your sweet, precious time. Well, you smell deer? You smell deer? I'm telling y'all, if I ever thought there was a deer tracking dog, I think it was her. That dog can smell deer from miles away. Please do not step in the ant bed. Hey, come here. Hey, out of everywhere you could have stopped, you're just going to stop right by the ant bed. Come here. Ray. No, we just going to stand there and look majestic? You should be fine. I mean, as long as you're not standing right on top of the anthill. Ray. Ray, you want to be in the video? You want to be in the video? What about you? What about you? You want to be in the video too? Huh, Obi? Yeah, I know. Daddy smells like sweat and grass.
Hey folks, it's Devin. Look, I thought this video was kind of boring. I don't know if anybody in their sane mind has lasted this long just listening to this guy talk about cutting tall weeds or whatever. I'm just glad that I ain't the one that's having to do it, because they tried to get me to do that and I said no. But I would really appreciate it if you guys would do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. If you gave this video a like or shared it. I know he's not going to ask you to do it, so I'm going to come out and ask y'all for him. Yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and be sure to come back and check out future videos. Other than that, I guess we love you guys, and I'll be seeing y'all in one of my videos coming out, the actual good videos. Okay, goodbye.
Some of y'all might be telling yourself like, dang, this dude's taking a lot of breaks. In between doing this, I've had to kind of go run and do other things. But yeah, I do like to take my breaks, especially whenever it's this nice out. Like, it is beautiful. Even though I'm sweating, even though I'm feeling personally hot from doing all this, I know it's only like 60 degrees, maybe at the most right now. And whenever we have beautiful days like this, you can't take them for granted. Whenever you travel for work and you're always working in like big cities and whatnot, it's always so good to come back home to this, to have this little slice of paradise, the woods, the grass, the pond. I mean, I am a nature freak. I love nature. I grew up around it my entire life. Growing up on a dairy farm, had plenty of hills and acres to roam and play, and that was some of the best times of my life. And now I just cherish it so much as somebody that's, basically paying bills on this stuff now. Like, it's just so relaxing to be able to sit here and do this. I'll take this any day over city life. Nothing against the city. There's things I love about the city. You know, I like having real nice internet and things, and having a bunch of places to go out and eat and entertainment and whatnot. I like that just as much as the next person. But this, you got to have an escape to this. Yeah, I personally believe that everybody needs to have some way to just escape and relax and calm and center themselves. It's very crucial.
What y'all doing? What y'all doing? Boy, I know.
Oh, you look like a T-Rex from here. this in this corner took me a little longer than what I thought it would, because it was all solid thorn bushes. It's not that they cut hard or anything, it's just me being careful, not trying to get stuck 1,000 times while I was cutting. So now that I'm coated in sawdust and God knows what else came off of these plants, just kind of wanted to show you guys a finished product. So this is the levee we started on this morning. I started way over there on that corner, worked my way here, and I even cleaned up a little bit in front of our cross where I could see it at night from the back side of the house. You'll notice where I started, like I told you guys a couple months ago, you can't see any shrub or anything. That stuff rots, it goes in the ground. I'm not worried about it. I'm not trying to have this pond ready and prime looking by tomorrow. This is something that I'm just taking my time with. And this stuff is going to grow back before I can get it bulldozed. I mean, I'm just being honest. It costs money to get a pond reworked, money that I don't personally have right now. So that is something that is coming later on in the future, and it is something we can all watch together. But this entire side of the pond is done. Over towards that side of the house is done. This part over here is all that's left on this side. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. That might be part of another video in the future. We might do this again. If not, and I feel like doing it this evening or tomorrow, I might actually finish that up. It might be the rest of this video. Might be able to conclude it with an entirely clean bank. But I cannot recommend this blade enough. I can't recommend doing this with a weed eater enough. If you have a spot, something that's not bad enough, and you can get a machine in there, and it's easier to work with that, and you'd rather do that, by all means do that. Do what works for you. My incline is really bad right here on this pond, because this is a pond that has never been worked before. I don't know if this is a natural pond. I wouldn't assume so, because this back side of this levee back here, this back levee, it's almost too perfectly formed for it to be natural. If it is, it's a miracle that it's like that. The rest of the pond looks like it could be natural, but I don't know. Nobody owned this property. People that did own it never even knew it was theirs. Trees were all growed up here. This pond ain't seen the light of day until I pretty much bought this property. So yeah, we chopped all this down. We're gonna make this pond look as good as we possibly can. And for future videos, just stay tuned and see our progress on what we do here. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for checking out this video. If you guys haven't, you guys can go check me out on TikTok. You can watch my other videos as well. We do all kinds of stuff. We do travel videos for work. We do comedy sketches. I do reviews on products. I mean, it depends. This ain't a one-trick pony thing here. We do all kinds of stuff. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, links to all the products for Amazon will be in the description below. You guys let me know what you guys think of it as well. What's your preferred method? What did you do? Was there anything I did that I could probably improve on? I know you guys will let me know in the comments below. I love you guys very much. Thank y'all for tuning in. And I think I'm gonna take me a break for a minute. Quite possibly gonna take me a good break. Just sit out here and look at what we did. I love you guys. See y'all next episode.